Buenas amigos de internet, ¿cómo están? Mi nombre es Rodrigo Polo y estamos jueves 25 de julio 2019. Porque el tiempo es oro, primer punto. Les comparto la siguiente convocatoria a la que me invitaron a participar. Esta proviene de un grupo de ciudadanos guatemaltecos preocupados por nuestra democracia. Es de Guatemala para Guatemala. Será el próximo sábado 27 de julio a las 2 p.m. frente al Tribunal Supremo Electoral para luego dirigirse al Parque Central, donde existirán varias exposiciones acerca de elecciones pasadas por parte de un buen número de personas que están al tanto de los hechos. Segundo punto, en el video anterior compartí acerca de los migrantes en Estados Unidos y hablé del pago de impuestos. Como he visto que es un tema recurrente en los comentarios, vuelvo a aclarar, para realizar un pago de impuestos sobre ganancias, recalco, sobre ganancias, repito, sobre ganancias, es indispensable tener un número de seguro social. Si su empleador le cobra impuestos sin que usted tenga un número de seguro social, le está robando. Sin un número de seguro social disponible en un Green Card, usted no puede pedir los beneficios de sus impuestos. Por supuesto que los impuestos sobre compra sí son pagados. Sin embargo, en el video anterior hablé de impuestos sobre ganancias. Repito, hago énfasis, remarco, sobre ganancias. Y pasando al último punto. Hace ya más de un año, el 28 de junio 2018, el vicepresidente de Estados Unidos, Mike Pence, visitó Guatemala. En esta visita se reunió con los presidentes del Triángulo Norte, pidiéndoles que reforzaran su frontera. Y es que lo mínimo que se le puede pedir a un país es que tenga fronteras definidas, porque sin fronteras no hay país. Asistí a esta rueda de prensa y me consta que todos los medios de comunicación nacionales y muchos extranjeros estaban presentes. El vicepresidente de Estados Unidos, Mike Pence, externalizó sus preocupaciones y pidió a los medios compartir su mensaje. ¿Cuántos medios de comunicación compartieron el discurso completo? ¿Lo compartió Prensa Libre? Nómada, Plaza Pública, Soy 502, Emisoras Unidas, Sonora, Noticiete. ¿Cuántos medios lo hicieron? Si no lo hicieron, pregunto, ¿a qué fueron los medios de comunicación si no compartieron el discurso completo? La solicitud de hace un año era sencilla. Refuercen sus fronteras. Y si Guatemala tuviera un ejército con la cantidad necesaria de elementos, con el entrenamiento adecuado, con el equipo adecuado, pudiéramos tener resuelto el problema. Pero ¿qué es lo que sucede? ¿Quiénes se han encargado de exigir la reducción del ejército, justificándose en nefastas acciones de unas pocas manzanas podridas? ¿Quiénes promueven el odio al ejército en vez de pedir que sea una institución fuerte y transparente? ¿Quiénes se opusieron a que el ejército se modernice con equipo para combatir el narcotráfico? Casualmente, los mismos interesados en que aquí reine el caos, porque en Río Devuelto, ganancia de globalistas. Hoy, más de un año después de la visita del vicepresidente Mike Pence, tenemos las consecuencias. Esto, producto de la traición de medios de comunicación que no difunden información vital para el país, de ONGs y fundaciones que destruyen la gobernabilidad, de gente vendida a un magnate que lucra de empobrecer naciones y llevarse sus recursos. Eso sí, muy astutamente secuestrando la voluntad de muchos al financiar a los que decían luchar para ser la voz del pueblo. La izquierda progre vendida y prostituida completamente. Esos que reciben su financiamiento de este magnate. No puedo culpar a la actual administración de Estados Unidos de las medidas que van a tomar. Es como aquel vecino que te pide que al menos cuides el jardín de tu casa. Si ahora este vecino no deja que entremos a su casa, es justamente por esos actores que han buscado socavar la gobernabilidad y desinformarnos. Así que de existir tarifas a remesas, de existir prohibición a viajar a Estados Unidos, ya saben quiénes son los responsables. Los mismos que festejaban en cócteles y que están al servicio de los grandes capitales internacionales. Así que aquí les dejo de nuevo el video del vicepresidente Mike Pence en visita a Guatemala hace más de un año. Los espero también el próximo sábado 27 de julio a manifestar por nuestra democracia, porque se respete nuestro voto, el mío y el suyo, porque cada voto lo vale.
Thank you for gathering at this important time. A time of great importance for our country and yours. I'm especially grateful to you, President Morales, for the hospitality that you've shown us here in Guatemala City. And I'm pleased to be joined today by the Secretary of Homeland Security for the United States, Kirstjen Nielsen. Following our discussions today, Secretary Nielsen will be convening a ministerial back here in Guatemala on July the 10th to review the proposals that we first discussed here today. Before I begin, Mr. President, let me personally convey the condolences of the American people to the people of Guatemala in the wake of the volcano de Fuego eruption earlier this month. In the wake of this disaster, many Americans and American aid organizations were swiftly on the scene, and we're proud of their generosity and compassion. The United States government was also pleased to provide more than $1 million to help families who've lost their homes. My wife Karen visited a shelter today with your First Lady, not far from the volcano, meeting with families who lost their homes and heard their stories. Mr. President, you can be confident the United States will continue to work with your government to provide support, food, medicine, and shelter to those in the wake of this terrible disaster. And we'll continue to pray for the good people of Guatemala as you recover and rebuild. President Donald Trump sent me here today because the United States faces another crisis on our southern border. And I'm sad to report to the presidents gathered here that the vast majority of those entering our country illegally are from your countries. As we discussed, the numbers are staggering. Since the start of this year, more than 150,000 Guatemalans, Hondurans, and Salvadorans have left their homes and made the often dangerous journey to the southern border of the United States and sought to enter our nation illegally. While many claim asylum, few are fleeing persecution. Among this flood of illegal migrants are human traffickers and violent gang members like MS-13, but most are making the journey seeking economic opportunity, driven by the misguided belief that they can ignore the laws of the United States and enter our nation without consequences. I say with great respect to the presidents gathered here, this exodus must end. It is a threat to the security of the United States, and just as we respect your borders and your sovereignty, we insist that you respect ours. We will always welcome your citizens to our nation if they follow our laws. The United States, as history records, is the most welcoming home for immigrants in history. I speak to you as the grandson of an immigrant. My own grandfather sailed past the Statue of Liberty before arriving at Ellis Island. And in the last year alone, the United States welcomed more than 1.1 million legal immigrants into our countries and our communities, including nearly 50,000 legal immigrants from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador last year. As we discussed, your people deserve to know that under the leadership of President Donald Trump, we are making our borders stronger and more secure than ever before. As President Trump has said, if you don't have borders, then you don't have a country. And at the President's direction, and working with Secretary Nielsen, we're increasing enforcement and prosecutions. We've begun construction of a new southern border wall, and we've enacted the largest investment in border security in nearly a decade. We're also working with our Congress to close loopholes that too often serve as a magnet for vulnerable families all across this region. President Trump has also taken action to keep families together while we enforce our laws and secure our border. And I'm grateful for the words of affirmation that have been expressed in our meeting today by the presidents gathered here. Earlier today, the First Lady visited with children from your countries in Arizona. And as we discussed, we're working to reunite families from your nations who have been caught trying to illegally enter the United States. In our country, we believe we can, as the old book says, do justice and love kindness at the same time. Ultimately, this crisis cannot be solved by America alone. And that's what brought us together today. The truth is, weak economies, corruption, drugs, and violence are the root causes of this crisis. The United States has long partnered with your countries to address these challenges, and our efforts, as we discussed today, have made some progress. But as we now see at our nation's southern border, the need for stronger action is more urgent than ever. As we discussed, with great respect, our nations needs your nations to do more. Last week, President Hernandez and I met in Washington, D.C., where we agreed to take new steps to strengthen our security partnership. And today, we all discussed specific new steps that Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador can take with American support to end this crisis at our southern border. Tell your people that coming to the United States illegally will only result in a hard journey and a harder life. As we discussed today, the presidents gathered here and your administrations can communicate to your people with more credibility than any other voices about the need to turn aside from those who would promise to bring them to our border for illegal entry. You can take down the public advertisements for human traffickers within your nations. You can renew the fight against corruption, criminal groups, and gang violence. You can strengthen your borders and your frontier police and tear down the barriers to opportunities and jobs. As I said to each of you today, the American people and our president are determined to secure our borders and bring this crisis to an end. And with your renewed partnership, we know we'll do just that. It is an honor to be with you today and to have the opportunity to have such a candid conversation among allies and friends. I know that each of you know that the American people cherish our relationship with your countries and cherish your people. We only want what is best for our people and yours. So as I close, permit me to deliver a message directly to the people of Guatemala and Honduras and El Salvador, straight from my heart and straight from the heart of the American people. You are our neighbors. We want you and your nations to prosper. If you want to come to the United States, come legally, or don't come at all. If someone tells you they can bring you or your children to America outside the law, don't believe them. Don't risk your lives or the lives of your children by coming to the United States on the road run by drug smugglers and human traffickers. Hold on to your homes and your homeland. Hold on to your children. Build your lives in your homes. And know that the people of the United States of America will keep working every day for a brighter future for our people and people all across this new world. The truth is, we are bound together as friends in this hemisphere of freedom and the hemisphere of faith. As I said before, my wife Karen visited today with Guatemalan families left homeless by the volcanic eruption. I know she prayed with them, she mourned with them, and she told them that the American people are committed to help them rebuild their lives. The truth is, we all live in the same neighborhood. We succeed when our neighbors succeed. We struggle when our neighbors struggle. And so the people of our nation will always be there to stand with you as neighbors and friends. So President Morales, thank you again for hosting us in your beautiful country today. President Hernandez and President Sanchez Ciran, thank you for traveling on short notice to be here today. President Trump and I respect your leadership and respect your countries. We have much work ahead of us, but we know with your leadership, with the leadership of President Trump, and with the goodwill of the people of all of our countries, and with God's help, that together we will overcome this present challenge, and together we will reach a brighter tomorrow. Thank you. God bless you. God bless your countries, and God bless the United States.